Welcome in, everybody. Look what happened here last week. I was so happy because I did not know we were supposed to get snow. This is our little she shed. It's actually a playhouse, but once the kids got too old, I turned it into a she shed. And then here's our front yard. It just kept snowing. I was so happy because we had been in Arkansas over Thanksgiving weekend and driving up through Missouri on Sunday. They had gotten snow, and I looked at our forecast hoping that we had gotten snow so it would be white when we got home, but no. And I didn't see any in the forecast. But then Monday morning, I woke up to this, and if you know me, you know that I was a happy woman because I love snow and I love winter. And this was my inspiration for today's painting. So to start off, I taped my paper down, as you can see, because I want a border for this one. And I'm just wetting the paper with a clean, wet brush. And we're not going to have any puddles of water. We're just getting it nice and wet to receive our paint. And I'm coming in with Payne's Gray. And if you don't have Payne's Gray, but you kind of like the shade, just take some of your blue and black and just kind of mess around with the color. You could make it a little bit more purple and so you could add a little red if you wanted a little more purplish going on there. And I thought I was going to be kind of creative and just kind of have splotchy background. And then I was like, maybe I will just smooth it out here because I want to do the salt again because I love that technique and I think it would be beautiful in this instance. And then I was like, hey, I want both. So I went ahead and dabbed it all in again and decided I could have the best of both worlds. And over on that left side, it got a little puddly, so I'm just kind of mopping some of that up. And to start off with, I am going to grab my Celtic sea salt, and I've got the coarse grained, I guess it's called. I just call it chunky salt, but and I'm just going to sprinkle some of those chunks of salt all over my painting here, what will be our background. Just kind of let that do its thing. And then I'm going to also grab some Himalayan sea salt. You do not have to have these weird salts. You can have white salt, Morton, whatever, whatever you use. They all do have a different effect though, so it's kind of fun to experiment with the different things. But I like these two together, and you can see after it's dry, you can already see what it's doing. Kind of has that icy look, which I thought would lend itself very nicely for our wintry painting. And just make sure you get all that salt off and it's nice and smooth before we start painting and completely dry. And we're going to start by painting our branch coming off of here. And you can see I'm holding my brush about midway up the handle there. And that's just because that allows me to paint more loosely. And I want to be loose with these branches. I want them to be a little bit wobbly and just kind of organic looking. And yeah, that just helps me to do that. For my colors, for my branches, I mix together a couple different browns that I have and a black. So you just mix your browns or take brown right out of your palette, whatever you've got, and just kind of use what you got. And also for this, I am not looking at a reference photo or anything. I'm not looking at the video that I took or anything. I just am starting to draw the branches, paint the branches, and then kind of take a step back a little bit and I'm just going, a twig would look nice there, and there would be a good one right here. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. And you will see throughout the painting that I tweak it quite a bit. I'm speeding up because I'm just coming over it and putting a second coat on all of these so that it has more of a contrast against the background and also more of a contrast once I add snow to the branches. And I also decide to add a few more branches. Again, I will do this more than once throughout the painting because especially like when I start adding berries and that sort of thing, I just realize, oh, I want something here, I want something there. So again, just play with it, use your imagination. Give it a thorough dry. That's going to be important in this painting. Sometimes it's okay to paint wet on wet, but for this painting, we are going to dry it completely in between our coats. Now we're coming in and painting the berries. Technically, they're crab apples, but that was a crabapple tree you saw in the video. But I am just doing berries because that just sounds better. Crabapple is not the nicest word, crabby. Okay, so just painting in the little berries. Now, normally I would leave a little highlight. Like if I were just doing berries, like on a summer day, for instance, I would leave a highlight. But since we're adding snow, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I will show you how to leave a highlight once we get towards the bottom. Now, you'll see that I'm adding a couple berries here where there are no branches or twigs. And that's okay. I just am doing that while I have red on my brush, and I will paint the branches in a little bit later. Speeding this up because, again, we're just coming on through and painting our berries. But I did slow down here because this is where I'm showing you how to leave the highlight if you want to. If you didn't catch that one, I'm going to do it here again. So you're just going to draw your circle and color it in, paint it in, except for one little highlighted spot. Again, for this painting, that's just going to be snow later, but if you've got a nice light background, it works nicely if you don't want to add highlights later. You can always add them later, though, so don't worry about that. All right, just continuing to add our berries. I just love the red against that Payne's gray. I think it's beautiful, and absolutely love how the salt made the background look nice and wintry. Okay, thoroughly dried the berries, and now I'm coming in with my brown again, and I am attaching those floating berries that I added to the branch, the branches, the twigs. And yeah, the sun was being very dramatic today, so I'm sorry that the lighting is kind of washed out right now. It just kept doing that. And I rely on daylight in order to paint my paintings because I don't know much about lighting, artificial lighting. So here we are. Okay, adding more branches as you can see. I just want to fill in my spots wherever it just feels good and makes sense, and adding a few more berries too, but I'm also purposefully leaving some branches bare because, birds come along and eat the berries and some of them fall off and all that good stuff. Okay, coming in with my Bleedproof white now that everything is completely dry. And I wanted to show you the inside. I'm not sure if I ever showed you the inside of my Bleedproof white, but it's very thick. So I just take some on my brush and put it on my palette and water it down there enough that it goes on our painting smoothly. You still want to leave it a little bit thick because we are going over some dark colors here and you want that white to remain opaque so we don't see through it. And as you can see here, I am just putting snow on our horizontal branches and even the ones going, a little more diagonal. Just put the snow wherever you think it might fall and rest for a little bit. And for our berries, I am just going to dab on the snow on there. So it kind of just looks like a little pile of snow sitting on top of the berries because that is what it looked like in real life. And that was just super fun. So you get the idea. I'm going to speed through because I think it's satisfying to watch it quickly. That's just me. I did get feedback from a couple friends here locally that they like it when I speed through my videos. So hopefully you do too. I know I can't please everybody, but when I'm doing repetitive stuff like this, it doesn't make much sense for me to keep just regular speed because you got stuff to do. All right. Time to take the tape off and see if any paint seeped under the tape, and it didn't. Yay. It's not the straightest border, but hey, I'll take the crisp border as a win. Wouldn't this just be a gorgeous Christmas card? I would love to receive this. So if you want to paint this and send it to me, I'll be happy to receive that from you. I'm kidding. All right, here's a little close-up for you. I hope that if you give it a try, you have fun. I just love the background, the salt. I just think she's a beauty. All right, have fun, and we'll see you in the next video.